Page 49, Interval Etude. We need to understand both of those words. An interval, remember, is the distance between any two notes. We've had intervals before. They talked about seconds, which is next to it. 1, 2, where the notes are next to each other. And we've talked about thirds, which is 1, 2, 3, where there's a note in between. And I already told you how to figure out any interval, so it doesn't matter what it is. That's what they're doing here. But now they're starting to get a little more into intervals. We have what's called melodic intervals and harmonic intervals. Which is which? Well, think of a melody as just one note after another. You look at the previous page, Song of the Orca, that melody. It's one note after the other. That's a melody. So that would be like a melodic interval. So a melodic interval is when the notes are not played at the same time. So it's like this. Look at Orca again. We have the first note is here, the next note is here. That's a third, but it's a melodic interval. It's a melodic third. Then that's a second, 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 and then a third, and then another third. See, they're intervals. Melodic intervals. Okay. Harmonic intervals is simply when they're played at the same time. Think of harmony. Think of multiple notes at the same time. I haven't really got into that too much, except at the end of Song of the Orca, you got both hands playing at the same time. Those notes played at the same time. That's harmony. So you think harmony is, you hear multiple notes at the same time. So a harmonic interval is simply an interval where the notes are played at the same time. And you only have two notes now. An interval is between two notes. So it's like here. It would be a harmonic interval. A melodic, or either one is melodic and harmonic. Harmonic, 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 harmonic. Some sound good, some don't. That's music for you. Just keep in mind what they are. We got more to do on intervals, but just keep this in mind. We'll get this part first. So let's say I have these two notes. I want to know the interval. I count up. 1, 2. Remember the note I'm on is 1. We don't start with 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's an interval of a sixth. If I play it here, or that's a melodic interval, a melodic sixth. If I play at the same time, it's harmonic. It's a harmonic sixth. It's just an example. They all work the same way. So that takes care of the interval part of the interval etude, and now the etude part. An etude is a study piece, an exercise sort of, except it usually has a little more interest than just exercises. You see a lot of etudes, all kinds of etudes, and some are better than others, obviously, but just keep in mind that when they say interval etude, so this is some sort of an exercise piece on intervals, is probably what this is. Because you don't sometimes know what the etude is about till you get into what are we doing here? Why is this an etude? And sometimes it has to do with interpretation, and sometimes it's dynamics or articulation or what? Who knows? Could be anything. This would be an exercise on intervals, interval etude. So I'll look it over. It's 2 lines long with a repeat sign. We'll play it twice. Treble bass clef, 4/4 time signature. I see a bunch of quarter notes and half notes. The left hand's playing the first line, the right hand's playing the second. Okay. The left hand starts at second finger on here, that puts the hand here. That's C position now. Remember, because five notes for 5 fingers, and the bottom note's a C, so it's C position. We'll call it something else. You're going to find C position is used most of the time. And the right hand for the second line, the second finger here, that puts it in C position. Big surprise. And this. Now we got them at the same time. The second measure, what's going on? You have an F and a G at the same time. How do I know they're at the same time? Well, technically, they're at the same time because they appear on the same beat. But you can also see the same time they're sharing the same stem. And that would do it. And they're not exactly above and below each other. Like on measure 4, those are exactly above and below. But on measure 2, they can't be because there isn't room. They overlap, so they have to adjust them slightly. So they're not exactly, but you still play them at the same time. Well, let's talk about that. When I play music, any music, and I'm playing a note, I'm using weight to push the note down. And when I play different notes, I'm simply transferring weight from finger to finger, and I'm lowering which finger I want the weight to be on. It's like walking on the piano with 5 feet here. Well, when you play multiple notes at a time, it's a little different because you can't connect them. I can't just transfer. I have to come up and down. So I'm lifting the weight and lowering it again each time, and at both times, and on both fingers. Whatever the fingers are, it doesn't matter what they are. Those are the fingers that get the weight, and I'm letting the wrist collapse a little bit on this, and that's what we're doing here. Here, and here. And we have the thirds, melodic, and then harmonic, and then the right hand does its thing. Get the idea? And that's the technique for it. So in one measure, I'm transferring, but then in the next one, I'm up and down. And it's not a real big motion. I exaggerate things so you can see it better, but it's really a little motion. It's been requested more than once that I put a camera on the side so they can see the side of my hand as I'm doing this, but I'm already using 3 cameras and I don't want to add a 4th. I'm too lazy for that, so we do the best we can with this setup. It's here. Hopefully you can tell I'm going up and down on this. So once I have the notes and the rhythms in okay, and I go back and get rid of the hesitations, I add the articulation, and we're connecting here, and we have staccatos, and again, I'm on the keys and I'm bouncing off at the wrist here. So it's bump, bump, and then lower it down. Lower down. So that's the articulation. Second line's the same. Then I add the dynamics, and there's only one of mezzo forte. I would suggest you practice this at each dynamic, because you can play it more than once. I mean, with the repeat sign, you can play it twice anyway, but for the practice, you can play it more than once. Playing it really, really super soft, in my opinion, will do you more good than playing it loud. Just because that takes control to play very light. Especially when you got more than one note at a time, you're playing and staccato. Add all that in there. Try playing it really soft. Then the speed, well, it's an etude, but it needs to be accurate. So how fast can you play it? I don't know. To play it at that speed, you pick your speed and play it. When you go quickly on these staccatos, you don't have time to put your hand on the key each time and bounce off. You've got to do this, but keep it a small motion. Don't hit it, boom, boom. It's just a real small motion. Try it, boom, 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 and try it just one finger at a time. Real light, real small, and here. You should do all the fingers. We don't want to favor fingers. All the fingers got to be developed. 3, 4, and 5 fingers should be worked on the most because they're the most awkward. Put your bum, 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 bum. And this is just 2 fingers then. It's the same wrist motion, it's just 2 fingers. I go quickly. But if you're going to do this, you got to go fast enough to do it. Otherwise, you'll put your hand on the key and bounce off each time when you go slow. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I don't think it'll be a problem. Let's do it anyway. I'll give us 4 counts, and we are going to repeat. 1, 2, ready, go. repeat. There's a duet for this at the bottom. I'd like to do that. I need you to go up an octave. No, 2 octaves. Go up 2 octaves again. So middle C's here. Just pretend it went up 2 C's. It's up here. So instead of here, you're up here. You're playing up here. Up here. I'll give us 4 counts. I'm going to speed it up a little bit, and we will repeat it. 1, 2, ready, go.